my fellow Americans, it is with overwhelming enthusiasm that I am declaring that anyone who protests or interferes with ICE and their operations is officially gay, big time. With that being said, go ahead and call your dads, tell them about your alternative lifestyle as a gay communist, and then who knows, maybe eat a lollipop. I don't know what flamers do with their time, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines. Maybe decorate a bathroom, who knows? In either case, this is who you are now, and everybody knows it. Cat's out of the bag. Cat is out of the bag.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. Kilmar Brego Garcia. He's back home. He's back home. Facing charges. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'll be honest with you. You want to know how I learned about this? Because I'm so busy. You know I'm busy, right? You know I have a life. I learned about it from a guy who I get notifications from him. Maybe I hit the bell on him some point. I don't know. But he shared this. And I was laughing.
Misinformation machine.
That's right. His name is Liberal Hive Mind. You may have heard of him. I usually skip the intro.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation. I mean, a clear clickbait headline duping their gullible leftist audience. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is coming home. Donald Trump has been defeated was basically the omen of the title. But behind the headline, when you actually read the article, you learn that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is being sent back to America not to live the peaceful life that he was as a contributing member and legal citizen and father.
He's not.
He's coming back to face serious charges. The leftist media was playing games here, clearly attempting to disinform the public. And I have a video here that shows you firsthand the effects of this media manipulation, the emotional roller coaster that the fake news left-wing machine is putting emotionally unstable people through. Let me show you guys this viral clip. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. So yeah, pretty much exactly as I outlined it. Here's the result of disinformation. Liberals are now celebrating the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
What the Did Aaron Parnas just report that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is coming home?
This is what you get when you watch Aaron Parnas. He's coming home! Woo! We win!
Donald hasn't had a win since November!
Really? Really?
Donald hasn't had a win since November! You son of a bitches! Oh my god, and all the haters that kept saying he's not coming home. Donald is a loser! Oh my god, I'm so, holy, I'm so happy! Oh my god!
Maryland man coming home.
Resistance! Oh, I love it. Oh, we're in a good place.
Yeah, who's gonna tell her? He's coming home, the people are screaming. Donald Trump has been defeated. Then, surprise, surprise, you learn that he's not coming home to a hero's welcome, but rather to face a laundry list of major charges.
Conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 USC 1324. We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador.
Yeah, it's the emotional roller.
So he's going to get to serve a sentence here and then get deported. We're going to make him serve his sentence here, and then we're going to deport him. Big win. Big win. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah. So I thought I'd share that with you. But I thought you might want to see that. Also, I saw this right after I finished my show yesterday. I was like, I should probably share this with you guys. So we'll do a little more warm up here.
All right, so let me explain what I believe is happening and why they want you in a civil war. So in the next couple weeks, these are being planned right now, very well funded, very well organized. At a city near you, we're going to have a riots, not just protests, full-on riots. And if you watch this video, what's happening? Why aren't the police?
By the way, Dan Bongino tweeted that clip out of motorcycle helmet kid guy, whatever, throwing rocks and looking to get him identified. So I have a feeling that he's probably going to be found pretty soon.
Doing anything? Why aren't they stopping and arresting these people? Well, most of these agencies where these riots are happening are liberal-led agencies. They are, in my belief, telling them to stand down. Why? Why are they dropping off bricks? Everywhere across America, they're dropping off these pallets of bricks. Why? Because they want to get violent and the police won't do anything. So then what? Patriots like you and I, it'll make us want to go in and fight. Don't do it. It is a trap.
Yeah, and I agree. It is. Don't engage them. Even though I engaged them today. I engaged one today. When I stumbled on a rally after the thing.
They're trying to suck us in so that all the patriots are going to go, and then we're going to marching right into their trap
I don't know the
for the civil war that they want.
It's good.
So what's the answer as hell breaks loose and violence ensues throughout these cities? Are we going to go save their cities? They're already gone. So get a food storage, get right with God, get out of major cities when it starts getting bad. Do not fight with these people. That's exactly what they want. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap. You need the fish head dude now. I don't get this one. I don't know what number 7 is. That's your digger number. Your digger 17. Is that what it is?
It's a trap. I promise you.
So there you go. It's a trap. You sent it to me? Not letting you send it. If one of you, Laura, we found him an hour ago. He's being rated, and found him yesterday. He's being rated an hour ago. I should get a hold of that, because today's show is about FAFO. So I mean, that's what this is. This show is FAFO. You know how to forward this to me?
Not flooding.
Sir, I'm sorry, the federal.
Yeah. I think this is faster than when you sent it to me. I could be wrong. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. If one of you beats me, then if one of you gets it to me faster, I don't even know the guy's name. Okay, let me see. Oh, I see that. It's so weird. There it is. Got it. Thank you. You beat me. The cardiac kids.
federal officers. The Molotov cocktail cases that you've seen, we've charged one, more to come, 3 outstanding. The looters, you saw they began to loot last night, going into 7-Elevens, going into drugstores. Typically, you don't charge those. We do under federal law now. Under the Hobbs Act, we are charging robbery. You loot a business in California, you are looking at maximum of 20 years in prison. You spit on a federal law enforcement officer, no more. As President Trump said, you spit, we hit. Get ready. If you spit on a federal law enforcement officer, we are going to charge you with a crime federally. You are looking at up to 5 years maximum in prison. The cinder block case, Sean. Remember that case? We have breaking news right now.
I would say that's police state type stuff, but I saw people go to jail for memes. So, yeah. And these people have far more nefarious agendas than just memes.
The case where the guy was breaking up the cinder blocks and he was throwing them at police cars. The federal officer had injured his hand. He was wearing a mask. The FBI has identified him. Bill Isaly, our incredible U.S. attorney out there working with ATF, DEA, and the FBI have been doing a remarkable job. That guy has just been identified, and they are doing a search warrant on his house as we speak.
Nice.
And he has been identified. See his face. He is going to be on, his name is Reyes. He is going to be on the most wanted list.
Nice. Ha! Oh, yes. Most wanted lists. Beautiful.
Broken the news, his face is out there right now. That's him. He has been identified by great police work by the FBI. So you can run, you can't hide. We are coming after you federally. If you assault a police officer, if you rob a store, if you loot, if you spit on a police officer, we're coming after you.
Okay, I want to be very clear. You said a lot there, Pam. There's a lot that I didn't know that.
Wow. And Jim tells me that he's got another link for me to check out. So let me pull that up. That's gonna leave Mark. Close-up slowed-down footage of protester who was throwing fireworks at the police getting shot directly in the face with a crowd control munition. Oh, nice. Oh, down goes Pedro. Down goes Pedro. Down goes Pedro. Nice. Chance of peaceful protest. Ring out as demonstrators on the roof drop fireworks on the police. This prompted officers to return fire, striking one of the men in the face with a crowd control munition. He was also hit with what I believe is a pepper ball and something made of glass exploded overhead. And look at that. Peter saw this. My own Peter. There we go. That's Allegan News. Make sure you got a cup and some protection. Indeed. Our boy. Our boy. Look at that. It's rough. It's rough. I had my own instant today. I didn't upload all my videos. I uploaded 2 out of 3. Because today, they all wear masks. They all wear masks. Anyhow. You guys want to see my video? Should I give you that's what I should have done. Should been like they're so sad. It's so sad. I'll pull up my video. I actually uploaded 2 of them. This is it. It's my own personal exclusive video. This is right outside the courthouse. When I was walking back to the train, I saw this. After I finished I was in the middle of upload. I finished recording my Diddy report, and I was walking back to the train while I was uploading, and I passed this. This is the entire crowd. That's it. That's it. I couldn't believe it. They call me an effing loser for wearing an NYPD hat.
I was Haruni. So what's the deal?
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. They serve lattes at the end of this? No, thank you. No, I'm not.
I asked if they serve lattes at the end of this. No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh, it's no latte for you.
Oh, okay.
Look at this guy. The stupid mask. There were 3 other people right before I started filming. There were 3 other people with masks who were on the edge where I first started. So I was like, and everyone's eyeing me because of the NYPD hat. Like, oh, here come the cops to make some trouble for us. And I was like, I'm not a cop, but I'm wearing the journalist thing, the journalist badge that I took off because it's annoying. I hang around my neck. I was like, I really just love to ask some questions. They're like, I was like, I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. He's like, no one's going to talk to you with you wearing an NYPD hat. And I was like, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Now, how many people would you say are there? Because I was thinking at first like a couple of hundred. This is it. This is all they did. They just stood there chanting, and this is the whole group of them. I was trying to figure out how to get around. How do I get out? I was like, I'm not looking to like. Oh, that woman over there in the black mask who looked at me, she like gave me like a look. That's the mask guy who the soy boy latte dude. Because they all assume since I'm a cop, I'm gonna just start wrongfully attacking people or something. Clearly, I'm a cop because I'm wearing $15 souvenir NYPD hat. I was like, "You're dying out already." They started when I started recording when they started. That's the front. That's it. That's the whole thing. I couldn't believe it. This is New York City. This is like the if not here, where? I was like, LA is mocking you guys. And much more cameras than idiots. Yes, much more cameras than idiots. Yes, I can. I didn't open chat on locals. I'm sorry for that. How did that happen? I just opened it now. So there you go. That was that. And here's someone who was.
There was a lot of them on. There was a lot of people on.
This is it. This is the whole rally. I don't know. Wouldn't you think there'd be like a lot more people?
There was a lot of them on. There was a lot of people on Saturday, but this is, I don't know, how many people do you think this is? I would say like 100, maybe 200.
I don't know.
You don't think it's 200?
I'm terrible at judging crowds. That's
Yeah, that's true. If you take out the cops
take
here.
out the cops. And
Take out the cops. Yeah, you're right. This is pathetic. LA is mocking New York right now. They're like, hey. Although I think there's a lot more investment in the protesters there. Where the ball out to bricks when they need them.
So anyway, so that was that was me stumbling on it. Thought I'd share that with you all. Now, I want to share. Now, a lot of folks are saying that what we hear about the riots is overstated. It's overstated. I want to give you two examples of that. Two examples of that. Where is it? No. Two examples. Oh, I don't have the second example. All right. Well, I'm going to give you only one example. Sorry. This is a guy from California who's like, dude, this is not what California is about.
To those who keep getting online and insulting us in California, understand, we actually believe that California is red already. But what y'all are not getting is we live under the most corrupt state in the U.S. Understand, California holds Los Angeles. It holds San Francisco. These are two of the biggest places where all your demons and witches do everything that they do. So they're not going to let California turn red as easily as they'll allow other places to turn red. Our governors are corrupt. We have voted red. We have fought against Gavin. We have called him out. We keep doing it over and over, and it still turns blue. Even this year, when voting got finished, California turned blue immediately. It didn't take any time to count. It just turned blue. And we knew immediately
That's true.
they did it again. So for the people who are outside of California and constantly commenting on California, you guys need to stop being stupid, stop voting blue. We're not voting blue. We live in the area that you all worship. When you love your Beyoncés and you love all your music industries and you love Hollywood and you love all that kind of stuff, and Kamala is part of San Francisco, and like, you guys have to understand, all those people are here in California. It's 10 times as hard to get California to turn blue because we live under all of the witches and the warlocks and the demons. They're not going to allow California to turn red as easy as other places. So instead of insulting us, pray for us. Lift California up. Pray to God and say, hey, help them there. But y'all get on here, y'all call us dumb, and oh, hey, California, you guys just keep voting for the same thing over and over. No, we are not. I live here in California. I'm in the Bay Area. I know for a fact we are not voting blue. Yeah, there's some people who are, but a majority of us are red. But no matter what we do, we literally just voted on a bunch of different stuff, and they just walk up and say, nah, we're not going to do it. It doesn't fit our agenda, so we're just not going to do it. And nobody stops them. There's nothing to stop them from doing it. California is being held captive. If you want to know the true situation, California is being held captive. Pray for us. Don't get on here and insult us. Pray for us. Thank you and God bless.
And that's not the only person making that claim. I did have a second video here. I knew I had it here somewhere. Jane Coleman, this is wife of Ron Coleman over here reporting. Yeah, that's not the angle I wanted. Reporting they want to give the impression to the rest of the United States that all of Los Angeles is in chaos. It isn't. We're going through our lives normally. There's Kurt Schlichter talking about it.
You're home, right? You're in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA, but look, let's understand what's going on here. First of all, these are very small demonstrations. It looks like there's a big crowd. There's freaking 20 million people in Los Angeles. Okay, maybe there's 10,000 maximum of these schmucks, these semi-human, foreigner-aligned dirtbags who are.
You're welcome. Is that a compliment or a complaint? She wasn't kidnapped. It's an offense to every person who's been held in captivity for 500 days by monstrous terrorists. Use the same word of kidnapping for Greta Autistic Thunberg and the stupid showmanship that she's always doing. It's called her kidnapped by the IDF. It's offensive.
Running a very clever kind of operation in very small areas, like the footage that you're seeing now. That's downtown. I've been there many times.
It's always in the poor section.
It's a very small area. It's very remote. They want to give the impression to the rest of the United States that all of Los Angeles is in chaos. It isn't. We're going through our lives normally here and 99% of Los Angeles. What they're attempting to do is leverage friendly regime media coverage to try and make it look like there's some sort of massive outpouring of support for illegal alien dirtbags. There isn't. There is a concentrated effort in certain areas, planned, funded, very well executed, and with the connivance of the regime media to try and demonstrate an image that doesn't really exist. The population is not massively outraged by the federal government attempting to enforce the laws that our Congress passed and our president.
Shh, don't see. No, we need it to be terrible so we can send in the guards to remove more people. If it's not terrible, then we can't send in the National Guard. They literally played into Trump's hands here because they gave him an excuse to send in that many more ICE people, send in that many more people and start deporting and arresting the people who are the nuisance. This is perfect. This is really, really perfect. I don't want them going around saying that, it's no big deal.
So understand that part of it.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I'm really not down with the whole exposing that it's not that big a deal. It's nice for us to be reassured that it's not that big a deal, but yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that coming out. I don't want people knowing that. Michael Schellenberg did a great job breaking this down. Also, I'm going to share that with you.
In Los Angeles waving the Mexican flag. A lot of people are upset about all of these images of rioters in Los Angeles waving the Mexican flag. If the protesters love Mexico so much, people are asking, why are they so upset when the U.S. enforces laws against illegal entry? Now, imagine for a moment that
why not send them back to Mexico? That's what they want.
A group of Americans, including myself, were in Mexico City and began throwing bricks at police officers, smashing store windows, setting fire to government vehicles, and waving the American flag. We would not walk away unharmed. And yet in Los Angeles, protesters did exactly that. They attacked law enforcement, blocked ICE agents, and vandalized public buildings. And yet California leaders not only did not defend the law, they condemned those who tried to enforce it. Governor Gavin Newsom called the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to restore order purposely inflammatory.
I'm not ignoring
LA
anything.
Mayor Karen Bass said, "We will not stand for this," referring not to the attacks on police officers or destruction of public property, but to the federal response. She reaffirmed her administration's ties to advocates of illegal immigration and made clear her allegiance was with the protesters, not with law enforcement. Now, what's truly inflammatory is not...
Yes, I got figured out how to get paid from Rumble. And Han says, did you see New York City Mayor post? If he was smart, he would ask the National Guard when crazy governor says no and escalates. He looks good. 14th is when they will escalate, always weekend warriors. I agree with that assessment, by the way, from Hans. Tim Pool, ELED field reporter, was also New York City protest. They need to come up with original protest rants. They do. They do. It's not cool. He's facing life sentence if they prove number of victims. Each one is 10 years. That would Usually they cap it at something, though.
Sending in the National Guard. It's standing by while mobs pelt law enforcement with bricks and fireworks, then accusing those officers of oppression. It's watching public spaces descend into chaos while calling the enforcement of laws the problem. In wealthy neighborhoods, the law is still being enforced. If you torch a car in Beverly Hills, the neighbors are going to demand that you're arrested. If you do it in East LA while shouting political slogans, you're engaging in protest.
Yeah, it's rules for thee and not for me.
This two-tiered enforcement is not progressive. It's segregation by another name. It creates one set of expectations for the politically connected and another for the disposable. And in that framework, working people, especially immigrants, families, and hourly wage earners, are abandoned. They're the ones who walk their kids past the open-air drug dealing. They're the ones whose shops are looted and whose cars are stolen. They're the ones who call 911 and wait and wait and wait some more. Now, people sometimes ask me how California can feel so anarchic on the one hand and so authoritarian on the other. The answer is simple. It's not actually a contradiction. California doesn't swing between chaos and control. It imposes both on purpose and at scale. Now, as we saw, when the leader of China comes to San Francisco, the city leaders end illegal camping overnight. California is what happens when the state abandons its duty to protect ordinary citizens while tightening its grip on the law-abiding. California Democrats demanded people show proof of vaccination to enter coffee shops and then allowed people to smoke fentanyl on the sidewalk outside. They fined restaurant owners for trying to survive and then shut down gyms trying to help people stay healthy. Meanwhile, they decriminalized theft, refused to prosecute open drug dealing, and looked the other way as cartel-run fentanyl and methamphetamine networks took over entire neighborhoods. They demanded that social media companies censored dissent, labeled truth as misinformation, and silenced critics who warned of the obvious collapse. They banned plastic straws, but then passed out crack pipes. They prosecuted pastors.
So there you go. I'm not going to, you can check out the rest of this if you want. But the point is, this is not something which is just an accident. This is not something that like, oh, they're confused. This is all part of a coordinated plan. And that's pretty evident. That's pretty evident. I'll play one more clip here before I get into my two main topics here. So I think this sort of sums it up.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world. Enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that
This is everything we've seen. Everything we've seen.
Status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts.
And by the way, this is something that we really just completely never bothered fighting over. But there's no reason, at the risk of awakening memory echoes of the uglier parts of American history, there's no reason that we should be looking at illegal aliens as being one whole person. There's a concept, I mean, you're all familiar with, those of you who have studied any kind of American history are familiar with the Three-Fifths Compromise. When idiots from the left talk about the Three-Fifths Compromise, they stupidly whine that blacks were not counted as full humans, and they try and point to how evil the founders were, in that they didn't count blacks as full humans. counted them at 3/5 compromise. So you had 5 black people would be considered, 5 black slaves would be considered like free people. Why did they do that? Who wanted the numbers then to count as full people versus having them count as nobody? Well, back then we didn't have woke retards, and everyone was looking at the political power of having folks living in your state. So the South said, hey, we got all these slaves. That's a lot of people. These people need representing. So they should be counted. If we got 13 million slaves here, we got another 13 million people living down south. The North, the abolitionists in the North, said, you don't even call them people, you call them property. They're 0 people. What did they come up with? They came up with the 3/5 compromise. Why is that? Because they weren't deemed citizens. They were deemed to be not the same as the rest of the American citizenry. Well, given that historical context, you can understand how, if you have persons who are not part of the voting constituency, who are living someplace in the 21st century, that they should not be counted as a full person. You should not have representation as if you have 20 million people, if you have 0 of them are citizens, and instead, you can make an argument they should count as 0 and then come back to a 3/5 compromise with respect to illegal aliens. I feel as if this is an area where the right has completely ceded this ground, where we're like, oh yeah, sure, I guess we're going to count the census based on human breaths being taken in your state. Why is that? Why would that be? Why is that? Why is that? That's not historically how we work things. That's not how we looked at this at all. So I understand that fortunately we've abolished slavery, thank God. So that was terrible, it was evil, it was awful. But the notion, as far as looking at slaves who are non-voting citizens, but they're still bodies who are living here in a particular state, the idea that they should have the same amount of representation simply because they're sucking oxygen in a particular state doesn't seem to make much sense, because that's just increasing the voting power of people who are non-voters. So I don't know how we remedy this situation. I'm just throwing out there. I feel as if we ceded this ground. Yeah, and they are. They're NPCs. As far as our electorate goes, as far as voting goes, they're NPCs. So why would we count them? Why should they be counted at all? Why should they be counted in a federal election? You want to tell me you want to count them in your stupid state election? All right. Go decide your own policies in your state. Why on earth should they be counted in a federal election? We're trying, because the whole point to a federal, think about this for a second. Why do we go based on the number of people as far as how many representatives you have in the House? Why do we say that's going to determine your electoral college value? Why is it influencing that? The reason it's influencing that is because we're saying the people who are in control of government in DC are put there by voters, and we need to represent the interests of those voters. That's the whole point. So why would you have voters on behalf of people who have no right to vote? That doesn't make any sense. But it just sort of just got thrown out there like, oh, yeah, so we have this many people. Oh, okay, well, we can't bother figuring out whether or not they're American citizens. It's not that hard to figure it out. If you can figure out to keep them off the voting rolls and the federal voting rolls, you can figure out how many people they have on their federal voting rolls. Ensure that people keep a clean voting roll and just say, hey, look, if you have a census that's higher than that because you decide to suck in millions of illegal aliens, well, we'll give you some credit for that, but we're not giving you full value. Because the point is you're getting representation in the American Congress, which is supposed to be representing, supposedly, the American citizens. And I feel as if this is something that no one ever talks about. We just sort of like gave up on this and we're like, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're just going to start throwing them. It's 13 extra seats. 13 extra seats. That's a lot of seats. That's usually a wider disparity than the number of people who are voting, who will help a bill pass. It's 13 seats. It's not right. It's not right. All right. Just have to get that off my mind. Let's get that off my mind. And one last thing we have on my mind. These people, Pam Bondi, they're next on your list. These people, this is attempted murder. That's what this is. Attempted murder. That's attempted murder. Those people, these people right here, these idiots, this guy right here, attempted murder. That's what that is. Yes. Yes. There you go. Make cows citizens. Why not? Why not? Why should they animal citizens? Especially to these idiots who value animal life more than human life. So stupid. All right. What do you got for me here? This is, should use his windshield wipers. I don't know what's happening here.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there.
What am I going to see here?
Stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homie that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, but they saying loot is back. Blame it on that contour, the hood call it looted yak. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish.
I don't even know what I'm seeing. Jim, what am I seeing here? What blew up there? What blew up there? Molotov cocktail? What is that? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Thank you, Long Live Liberty. Appreciate that. Newsom, what are you waiting for? Come to California, find out what it has. Good times. Good times indeed. All right, let's get to the whole FAFO. Let's do it. We start with this. We start with our fearless leader, which is where we should always start.
About this. All right, President Trump just arrived at the White House. He's talking with reporters. Let's watch.
He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA? Are they people ISIS trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
So there you go. It's always good to hear from our fearless leader. Okay. Jim, you missed this. The best FAFO. You missed the best FAFO.
Arrest! I'm dead! Arrest! I'm right here! Hey! Hey!
Oh!
He needs some milk! Yeah. Yeah. That's what your dumb ass get.
Oh, I thought that was so good. I thought that was so good. You're welcome. All right. One more before we get to our main FAFO. I don't even know when this is. I don't know where this is, but here you go. Slap the hand? Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Bam! Oh! That was like Mortal Kombat type of thing happening. All right. Well, I only saw it today, so you got it today. All right. And it fit in very well with my theme. Okay. So there's an individual who is acting under the pseudonym of L.A. Scanner. L.A. Scanner. I missed a whole bunch of these. Luzon says, I disagree with him. I'm going there. We're going there very soon. I disagree with him about it being the politically connected. The ones in Beverly Hills are rich and don't want their area, and the police will do something because it's small. The others are poor. That's probably true. Joe, if it isn't just seats, but also electoral college positions, Cali would lose power in the election of the president along with lots of blue states. Yep, and that's why we need to fight for it. Do you think P. Diddy is missing L.A. nightlife? I don't know. So Trump is being prepared, I would assume so. Trump is being prepared to declare them as an insurrection. I don't think they've done enough yet. It's like close. I don't know. I think he needs one more push. And this weekend it should come, right? This weekend it's going to come. It's going to come. There's going to be one more push. And it's coming this weekend. It's coming. All right. LA Scanner is an account that was on X. And he would basically use, I guess, CB radio, and he would report information that he would get. And he would pick up information and then post to his followers about where ICE was headed, where they were staying overnight, giving out names, giving out all sorts of information about them. For people to do as they feel they want to do. When I explained this to Lady Lawgic, she's like, is that a crime? So I was like, well, I mean, what do you think he's doing it for? Why do you guys think he's doing it? And the only reason is to incite people either to help would-be arrestees, to encourage them to scurry away. So he's basically aiding and abetting people who are committing a crime, or to dox them, either to intimidate them or to have them face physical threats, to get rallies to go huddle around them, and to basically impede them from performing their duties which they are charged by the Constitution to perform and by their president. So this is what today folks learned who LA Scanner was. They learned who he was. And the reaction brought this from him. I want to issue a formal apology. I want to issue a formal apology. I should not have posted the locations of ICE raids, and I will no longer do so. I've contacted the authorities to take responsibility, and they are currently reviewing my account to determine if any laws were broken. If it's found that I have violated the law, I will cooperate fully and turn myself in. To those targeting my family, please, I'm begging you to stop. And I would echo that. No one should be going after this guy's family. You really shouldn't. I'm saying that without any hint of humor or irony. It's terribly wrong for anyone to go after this guy's family. I'm begging you to stop. They've done nothing wrong and do not deserve to be dragged into this. The anger should be directed at me, not them. Someone has already come to my home, pounding on my door and demanding to confront me. This has gone too far. To anyone I may have put at risk, I sincerely apologize. That was never my intention. Oh, that part's a lie. That part's a lie. As James Wood said, it absolutely was your intention to put people at risk. There was. And turns out, fun little fact, several months ago, LA Scanner was in a group chat I own until someone came forward with court documents proving that the owner behind the account is a convicted felon. I immediately removed him. Now, after seeing him dox ICE agents, I've got no other choice but to release this information. Fun little fact, as a convicted felon, you're not allowed to own or operate a police scanner. Uh-oh. The download is below. And his name is Jack Donald Quillen. Committed a violation September 28, 2023, and case status convicted. He was convicted on September 11th, 2024. Violation of 646.9 APC stalking. Victim was vulnerable. So he's a professional stalker, this guy. And per the terms of his docket description here, they say shall consent to search by a probation officer or peace officer at any time, with or without search warrant, warrant of arrest or reasonable cause, or a cell phone. Since your possession control, you must provide update passwords, encryption keys, dongles, fingerprints, biometrics, and other information necessary to access the data. Upon the request of any police officer or probation, you shall be directed to show identification. You shall not use any fictitious names or attempt to change your name, which I don't know if the name LA Scanner sounds like it's a fictitious name. You should not wear, possess, or purchase costumes. You should not possess any type of police scanner, police radio, or other telecommunication devices, including any cellular telephone applications which monitor police radio transmissions. Can you guys see that? Let's make this bigger. You shall not possess any type of police scanner, police radio, or other telecommunication devices, including any cellular telephone applications which monitor police radio transmissions. Gotcha! Gotcha, bitch! Oh, no! Oh, no! Specifically directed to him on January 5th of this year. That's a violation. That's a violation right there. Now, it's California, so whether they do anything to him or not, I don't know. He's white, so that's not going to help. That's not going to help. Now, I'm not going to give you his address. I'm not going to publicize his address. Not that I think it would be hard to find. For Scott Presso putting out, if you see anyone posting live locations of ICE agents, immediately take a screenshot and document it. We're going to peacefully seek accountability for every single individual case. Wholly agree with that. Here's your guy. That's him. That's Jack. That's him. In case you see him, that's the stalker. The owner of LA Scanner X has deactivated his account and says he's turned himself in if he violated the law. Well, having a police scanner, I'll tell you right now, you violated the law.
The U.S. Secret Service confirmed visiting a Southside school as part of an investigation into a threat. Initially, Chicago Public Schools, or CPS, reported that the agents were from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. But ICE denied involvement. The Secret Service agent said that they were directed to Hamline Elementary School after visiting a home, but did not enter the school. Details about the alleged threat remain unclear. Hamline principal Natasha Ortega said that the school followed protocols, denying entry to the agents and implementing a soft lockdown. We will not open our doors for ICE, she stated. CPS assures families that students and staff were safe, emphasizing its commitment to protecting immigrant families under the Illinois Trust Act and Chicago's Welcoming City Ordinance. Parents expressed concern, especially in the predominantly Latino community, as fears of deportations targeting schools and churches persist. CPS rapid response teams and community organizations responded to support the school.
I don't know what he's babbling about. Anyway, so, yeah, that's him. This is his little Instagram. This has not been removed yet. Hey, FBI Bongino, isn't a major crime to post where ICE agents are staying? LA Scan has been doing this for days. Here's one of his posts. Holiday Inn, Torrance, and night. Look at this guy. Why are you posting this? Why? What is the motivation? I look at him, and when I see his face, I think incel, and I almost feel bad for him. He's like the loser you root for in a movie, right? I mean, he's the loser you root for in a movie. Then you find out that he's a stalker, and he's doing this sort of thing, and you just want to, delete the guy. You just like, this NPC got to go, right? That's what you're thinking. What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Who does this? Why would someone do this? This felony was for stalking. That was his felony. Stalking. Who would have thought, right? So he just locked his account. They're running scared. These are the people that have been doxing locations of ICE, take screenshots, and archive everything. So first he locked his account, and then he closed his account. I don't know why I don't have that here. I thought I had it here. But, yep, breaking. Federal judge issues arrest warrant for LA Scanner account operator accused of doxing ICE agents. So there you go. Here's the thing. The reason why you need to go hard after this guy, the reason you need to go hard after him is you need to discourage copycats. You need to discourage copycats. This is a critical time. This is a very critical time for the Trump administration. And if you don't go hard after this incel, and you just sort of like, I feel bad, he looks like a loser. If you don't go hard after this guy, there will be more and more copycats, and someone innocent is going to get hurt as a result. So you need to go hard after this guy. You need to hit him with the stiffest possible penalties you can. So, should there be a no SWAT registry, you can have your primary address recorded into the private prevent nuisance swatting. It's interesting you raised this question. I think it was last summer or so when a whole bunch of different smaller type of accounts, when I say smaller accounts, I meant they're people who like know who I am. Like a big account doesn't know who I am. Smaller accounts, which like were barely bigger than me, like a couple 100,000 subs, 300,000, 500,000 subs, which were getting swatted. And it started making me nervous that I'm like, I might get swatted. And I went down to my police station, trying to put my name on a registry there saying, hey, if you get notification about me, not that you should, because I'm not that type of guy. I'm just letting you know I am a podcaster and my content is somewhat controversial. And it's possible that, some people report my stuff for, reasons to YouTube that are improper. And I've seen other people who are getting swatted, and I'm kind of nervous that maybe someone's going to basically decide to try and swat me, and then my house is going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of, itchy trigger finger happy cops. So I just wanted to introduce you to me and let you know that, God forbid, I'll give you my address, and God forbid, if you here's something, so here's my phone number, give me a call, and I'll have the door open. I know you have to do what you have to do. I'll have the door open for you, and it'll all be calm, and you'll do what you have to do, but to sort of keep tensions from escalating. And they're like, we don't do that. And do you have bodies in your basement? Are you abusing kids? That's basically the reaction I got. I'm like, no, I'm not. Thank you very much for asking. I appreciate you're a little confused by this conversation. But yeah. So this guy is not having a happy time of it anymore. Not having a happy time, nor should he, because he's a jerk. He really is a jerk. And I'm very pleased to see that his account he ended up closing down his account. I thought I saved it, but his ex account is gone. His Instagram seems to be there. He's only got 85 followers there. But yeah. All right. So that's our FAFO portion here. Let's get into Newsom suing Trump this morning, complaining for declaratory and injunctive relief. Now, he went to court complaining about the fact that Trump called in the National Guard. And I am a lawyer, so I guess in name now, hopefully more than practice, because I don't want to practice. And here is his complaint. I should download this and open it the right way, right? That's how we should do this. All right, so let's open this up here. I can view a summary. They generate a summary for me now. Whoa. That's not much of a summary. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, what? Stop. Why does it use my request? Stop it. Okay. There. All right, so what do we have here? We have Gavin Newsom versus Donald Trump in his official capacity as President of the United States, Pete Hegseth as Secretary of the Department of Defense and the U.S. DOD. Governor of the State of California, bring this action to protect the state against the illegal actions of President, Secretary of Defense, Department of Defense, to deploy members of the California National Guard without lawful entry, authority, and in violation of the Constitution. All right, so we're governed by civil, not military rule. That's nice. President Trump has repeatedly invoked emergency powers to exceed the bounds of lawful executive authority. How so? I don't know what that's talking about. On Saturday, June 7th, he used a protest. This is what you want to call it? You want to call it a protest? You're calling it a protest? Okay. The local authorities had it under control. You're going to struggle with that one when you see all the cop cars basically on fire. So it doesn't look like that much of control. To make another unprecedented power grab. This time at the cost of sovereignty of the state of California. Yeah, you're not displaying much of your sovereignty. And disregard the authority and role of the governor and commander-in-chief. There's nothing to see here. Folks, everything's fine. There's nothing. Everything's fine. Go about your business. The vehicle the president sought to invoke for his unprecedented usurpation of state authority. It's not unprecedented. It's not the first time it's happened. And resources is Statute 10 U.S.C. 12406 that has been invoked on its own only once before, and for highly unusual circumstances not presented here. I think those circumstances were Rodney King. So tell us how this is different. Invoking this statute, the president issued a memorandum on June 7, 2025, calling into federal service members and units of the National Guard. Secretary of Defense Hegseth in turn issued a memorandum that same day to the Adjutant General of California, ordering 2,000 California National Guard members into federal service. And on June 9, 2025, Secretary Hegseth issued another memo ordering an additional 2,000 for a total of 4,000 National Guard members into federal service. These orders were issued despite the text of Section 12406, which, among other things, requires that when the president calls members of the state National Guard into federal service, those orders should be issued through the governors of the states. So I looked this up. I pulled this up just so we're all on the same page here. So we can look at this statute, which is 10 U.S.C. 12406. So circumstances where it gets called upon is whenever the United States or any of the Commonwealth's possessions invaded or is in danger of invasion by a foreign nation. That's one situation, which I don't know, when people are like basically attacking police and waving a Mexican flag, that looks like an invasion. Or there's a rebellion or danger rebellion against the authority of the United States. That seems like that's going on here too. Or the president is unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States, which ICE was struggling to execute the laws of the United States. So yeah, the president may call into federal service members of the units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to repel the invasion, suppress rebellion, or execute those laws. Orders for these purposes shall be issued through the governors of states. So what does this mean? That orders for these purposes shall be issued through the governors of the states. I don't know what the heck that means. I'm not going to kid you. I'm a little confused by what that means. Orders are issued through. What does that mean? Clearly, it's designed to be under the president's control. Otherwise, what's the point here? I mean, it's supposed to be directed by the governor? Anyhow, instead, Hegseth unilaterally, unlawfully bypassed the governor of California, issuing an order that by statute must go through him. As a result, the National Guard has been deployed to Los Angeles, and now, on top of the National Guard, defendants are reportedly also deploying Marines to the area. Well, that would be a different statute. President's federalization deployment of the National Guard for reasons not authorized by law and without input from a consent of the governor contravenes core statutory and constitutional restrictions. Use of regular armed forces is similarly unlawful here. Really? You don't even know what he's using. The Constitution reserves the state's power over the respective state militias. Now the National Guard, unless the state requests or consents to federal control. Only under... That's not true. That's not true. I don't know where you came up with that. That's not the Constitution. If anything, it would be that statute. I don't know where you came up with that. Only under the most exigent of circumstances, which we clearly have here, can the president, over the objections of the state, call the National Guard into federal service, which we clearly have here. You're purposefully not enforcing the law. And you've actually stated that you're in open rebellion against that law, that you're not upholding the federal government's primacy with respect to immigration. So you're not upholding the law. The balance of the framers struck between the state's power to control its own militia and the very narrow circumstance in which the federal government may take command and control serves as a vital check against federal overreach. Section 12406 does not provide the authority to defend a claim. It does seem to give them the authority. Constitution grants states, not the federal executive, the authority to conduct ordinary law enforcement activities. This is not ordinary law enforcement activities. This is the president carrying out his statute, the federal statutes. So, yeah, it's not your ordinary law enforcement activities. In terms of how the own state laws should be enforced. We're not talking about your stupid state laws. No one's worrying about your California state laws. Reflecting the founders' distrust of military rule, the U.S. Constitution and laws of the nation strictly limit the domestic use of the military, including the federalized nationalized guard. The Posse Comitatus Act codifies these strict rules, prohibiting the military from engaging in civil law enforcement. You have a statute there? The Posse Comitatus Act. What the heck is that? That sounds like something from the 1700s. Posse Comitatus. 1878 generally prohibits the use of U.S. military for domestic law. Generally. All right, I'm going to assume that they don't know what they're talking about with that for now. It appears that the Trump administration tends to treat Section 12406 as a mechanism to evade these time-honored constitutional limits. That's because you're not upholding the law, and there's a rebellion going on there. So, would you say that Washington couldn't put down the whiskey rebellion? This court should reject the unlawful intent by the defense to wrest away the state's control. All right, we don't care about venues and parties. But where are we? We're probably in the Southern District, right? Some Southern District? Northern District, California. LA is Northern District, California. I wouldn't think so. What was the basis for venue? Oh, because that's where Newsom's office is in Sacramento. Okay, that makes sense. On Friday, June 6th, Immigration Customs Enforcement officers carried out enforcement actions in multiple locations within LA County and the city of LA. According to news reports that rely on statements from the Department of Homeland Security, ICE officers were executing search warrants at various locations, including outside Ambiance Apparel, a clothing wholesaler. ICE reportedly also carried out enforcement activities that included detentions and arrests at a donut shop at the Fashion District of downtown LA and 2 Home Depot stores in the Westlake District of LA. Prior to the ICE operations, federal officials did not provide the leadership of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department or LAPD with any notice as to the planned operations or otherwise attempt to coordinate activities to protect the safety of the public. During the course of those operations, ICE and its agents reportedly took actions that inflamed tensions. See, this is the most subjective thing in the world. This is ridiculous. Do you have an affidavit here? Is there an affidavit? I want to read your affidavit. I don't care about your stupid legal arguments. I need to see an affidavit now. Now I need an affidavit. They don't have an affidavit? They don't have a statement? They just go straight into it. Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't really get that. Yeah, his tweets notwithstanding. Trump's tweeted also. So his tweets somehow carry more weight than yours do, Governor Newsom. See, here's the thing. What they're wholly reliant on throughout here is this notion that they can completely disregard the federal government's need to conduct engagement in their state. And they completely spit in their face. They completely obstruct them and take steps to help protect those people who are criminals, giving them their sanctuary state status. So, yeah, I want to wait to see the response from the federal government. But without a statement of facts, without some sort of statement there, someone who's attesting that they know what's going on, some sort of statement from Gavin Newsom, I question legitimacy in any application for or prayer for relief. That's not to say that it's impossible for it to happen. I'm going to assume, I'll give the benefit of the doubt, that the California Secretary of State, the Attorney General for the state of California, is not an incompetent boob. I'm simply saying you would think that there should be an attestation under oath from someone with knowledge as to what the hell happened in order to give some sort of sense of legitimacy to the claims that are being set forth there. There's no one even swearing that any of the facts there are true. Now, the court is unlikely to just willy-nilly ignore a complaint and say, well, there's no affidavit here attesting to the facts. But the lack of an attestation, which would be called in federal court, it's called a declaration. Without a declaration, you sort of have to ask yourself, how the heck do we know that anything in here is true when there's nothing that's being said under oath at all? So I will keep you apprised as this story develops. I would imagine that we're going to have some sort of feedback on this soon. I want to see something really quick. If we got a return date here. That's true. Harris was the AG of California at one point, Uzelian. That's a very, very good point. She didn't do the work herself. Someone else was doing it. And this just came in 45 minutes ago from USA Today. 700 Marines heading to LA for riot assistance. Newsom calls move to range fantasy of Trump. Choose to not participate in law enforcement activities to officials unless the president chooses to invoke the Insurrection Act. So he just has them ready to go. They're just ready to go. They're just ready to go. The question is what steps they're going to be taking. If they're simply guarding ICE agents, why is that a problem? It's like extra backup. It's extra backup. Or if they're protecting the ICE building, as Uzelian's pointing out, why is that a problem? Clearly, your own LAPD suck at protecting that building. That's evident. So, look, we all have vivid recollection of what the hell happened in Portland of what the hell happened in the Chaz zone in Seattle. We've seen how these stupid West Coast governors are pretty much newts. They've been neutered. They don't act. So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? So I wholly endorse President Trump. I credit him for having the cojones to move forward with this. All right. I think I'm going to land my plane here because I am feeling tired. It's been a long day, a very, very long day. So I am going to land my plane and do a quick check in the ghetto to make sure I don't miss anything. Hands One Pack says sanctuary gun law states got overruled, yet we still have sanctuary states for immigrants. It is pretty ridiculous, right? He also asked how JFK used National Guard against states when they would not integrate schools. So you're saying, do not say consent to governor, just orders to be passed down by governor. Yeah, but what does that even mean if the governor is not okay with it? I thought swatting with diggers was still working tunnels to sister's house. Do not want to stop this important work. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. My sister appreciates that as well. All right, my friends. I suddenly became awash with fresh levels of tiredness. So I am going to land my plane here. I thank you so much for joining me. I look to be back here tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing a Diddy thing tomorrow. Probably not. Probably just going to come straight into the following program unless there's like a really crazy development. Unless there's a really crazy development. I think the whole full Diddy recap thing, it's good like a couple times a week when there's something really that piques my interest. Today piqued my interest. It was a good story. If you missed it, if you joined only for this show, I urge you to go back and check it out because there was an interesting legal battle that went on. There was some crazy testimony from a woman who seems very intelligent and somewhat insane. Somewhat insane, which some people say Stockholm syndrome, but yeah, so I urge you to check it out because I think it's a good story and I pack in a lot there. So that's my show. I'm sticking to it. Lab meets for they, them. It's definitely not meant for you. The plan's coming in pretty quick. There's not even time for the flies or the bugs. The bugs are smashing on the windshield. Don't eat that. Do not eat that. I thank you all for joining me. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, Godspeed.